Good morning, everyone. Please be seated. We did it, Walnut Hill. I want to welcome everybody here under the tent. My name is Antonio Viva, and I have the distinct privilege of serving as the head of school here at Walnut Hill School for the Arts. And I want to say that it is an extraordinary accomplishment for me to begin the 127th commencement exercises of Walnut Hill School for the Arts. I'm going to ask everybody to please keep your masks on during our ceremony today. Seniors, you get a break. No masks needed. Before I begin, I want to just take a moment because I have not had the opportunity to really speak to this group in person. And one of the things that I love to do as head of school is that after each performance that we have as a community, that we celebrate and that we experience, I get a chance to acknowledge the work that went into that performance. And so I want to do that today. I want to begin by acknowledging the amazing and uplifting art that you created over the past several weeks. Regardless of whether you were a dancer, a singer, an actor, a painter, a sculptor, a filmmaker, musician, or poet, you reminded us once again that human beings truly are capable of making beautiful things. And for that, we are all deeply, deeply grateful. We'll begin our ceremonies with our salutation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Natasha Rawls. I'm a four-year senior, and I'm a WFMA major, Writing, Film, Media Arts. Usually, in Writing, Film, Media Arts, we title our pieces, unless you're Annie Ju, she did advertise her pieces. But since this is going to be my last piece at Walnut Hill, basically, I decided to give it a name. The title is Metamorphosis. There's not many original ways to start one of these graduation speeches, because millions of teenagers around the world have written these kinds of speeches before, and usually it's because they're the smartest in their class. I'd love to convince myself I am, but I'm not the smartest person in our class. However, I do feel like I notice some few things. And what I noticed most about this year, and what I remembered most about this year, was feeling that somewhere along the way of our spring vacation that turned into a year, our hill became a mountain. With this unexpected sort of remodeling of campus and how we do things, there were a few funny things that happened, some wild goose chases around campus for classes either online or in Amelia or wherever you had classes. It was a mess sometimes. Sometimes you just have to go back to your room because the class was online, or to a designated student space, day student space, because representation. Ow. But I think what I love most about this switch up was that it made our experience more unique, to put a word to it, but it's also more unforgettable. In some way or some fashion, because of what happened to us, I think we got a full campus-wide glow-up, and I relate, and I love it. Yay us, I'm here for it. Despite looking good, smelling good, and obviously being amazing, we have been running the end sprint of a marathon for a couple months now. And it doesn't even matter how many, because it's been really hard for everybody. It's almost like sipping the last sips of a glass on a very hot summer day. We've been beat up this year. It's been hard in the way that it's been perpetually hard. And sometimes on the weekends you would get a break and just realize that everything's like a Greek punishment story. And we should just settle with our pain because we'll be doing it for 4 years in college anyways. Sorry to be a negative Nancy, but to say the least, we were students who survived and thrived in very hard circumstances. We grew, we expanded, and we took steps towards something new. Whether that was a month ago, last week, or even today, you've all gotten past something to be here. And I find it very hard to take sayings like this seriously, but you all should be extremely proud of yourselves. Even if you have a second in your day today, just to think about yourself and think about what you've done here, what you've done with the people around you, please feel free, more than free to do it. You will only have so many opportunities to think about your life, think about the people around you, in a moment of privacy for the next couple of years. So please think and just think for now. Because after today, you'll have gone through 4 years of high school and an 18-year-long educational career. Now that deserves a damn round of applause. Even without COVID, Walnut Hill was a very hard school to be at. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., sometimes to 7 p.m. for the theater majors. It was really hard, really, really hard. But I think that I've been really thinking about this class and what we've been doing on this campus and the community that we've been growing on this campus. And to say the least, I'm proud of all of us. We've been really positive in a time that's been really negative. And we've been showing up for each other in ridiculous ways that I didn't see my freshman and sophomore year. And I think that single-handedly, we just brought this campus up, and I'm really proud of you guys. Sorry, I'm really emotional right now. It's really, I love you too, Angelica. I love all of you, not just Angelica, but you know. Let's have a conversation on stage. I'll do it. I'll argue with you right now. That's the one thing I really miss, arguing with Angelica. I also argue with Amir sometimes with my class. I love arguing with people. Yeah, pull up. But they're getting back on the speech now. Well, we don't know what happens next. And I think that that's a really beautiful part of life, that we will never know what happens next. We will never know what the day has for us. We never know what the day will do to us, and we don't know how the day will feel for us. And that's going to continue for the rest of our lives. And that's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Because what you do in the day, what happens to you, and how you feel about it is your story, your responsibility. This is your life, and you should definitely play an active role in it. Do the things you are too afraid to do. Do the new things, the old things, do all of it, because you only have one chance. If you have the power to think it, you most definitely have the power to do it. Now, personally, I've never been good at doing the things I really want to do, doing the things I imagine and dream about. I've always been too scared to do most things, and in some way, it saved me a lot of hurt, but it also lost me a lot of potential good in my life. And I don't think this means that I should regret some of my lost opportunities and beat myself to death with it, but I think that means that I should just be someone new for a day. So give your chance to be someone new for a day. Try something new, think something new, sing, write, dance, roll on the hill if you haven't done it in 10 years. Do whatever you need to do to just feel new. I think what I'm most surprised about is that I think everybody has been doing that. I think everybody has been doing something new, trying to be who they really want to be, however that is, however new or old that is to you. And in part, that's what made this year really good. Everybody was themselves. Everybody was authentic. Everybody was being who they wanted to be. And I think it's really incredibly beautiful. And you guys are really incredible people. And I can't wait to see what you guys do. And I think that no matter what, you will all be okay. That's all I got.
morning. My name is Betsy Payne McClendon, and I am so fortunate to be the president of our Board of Trustees of this wonderful school. I have been honored to be invited to speak at the last 19 graduations to congratulate prior graduates just like you for their hard work and your dedication, as you have provided such joy to all of us who have been fortunate to experience your arts. And today, I finally join you, and I get to graduate myself, my 20th time. The first 18 were joyful and had a lot in common. A full school procession to the center of Natick, followed by a ceremony in a tightly packed church as we celebrated each graduation class, a tradition that we've had for many years. As a matter of fact, when I graduated, we did the same thing in 1965. I'll do the math, 56 years ago. Last year, of course, was so different since it was all done via videos and Zoom. And while many worked very hard to make it special and joyful, I have to admit it wasn't quite there. But now, we are perhaps starting a whole new tradition, and you will be pioneers. Under a tent on campus for the first time, no question you've had a lot of firsts since last March, when our whole world changed. But you have persevered, been flexible, and often even more creative in your own spaces. Whether I watched you on YouTube or recently had a chance to see you in person, you've demonstrated that you are not to be discouraged or dissuaded from learning more and sharing your incredible talents with so many. On behalf of our entire Board of Trustees, I thank you for reminding us again why we all love being involved with the school and staying involved. And as I heard a few of you say, we no longer take little things for granted. But today is your day, not something little to take for granted at all. A very special day for you, June 12th. So, you want to know what else happened in history on June 12th? Here we go. In 1849, in Louisville, Kentucky, the gas mask was patented by Louis Hazlitt. Okay, I'm sorry to even mention masks to you after what you've had to have them as part of your life for so long. In 1923, Harry Houdini freed himself from a straitjacket while hanging upside down 40 feet above the ground in New York City. Honestly, I can't help but think a lot of what you had to go through in unusual circumstances may have kind of felt like that. 1942, Anne Frank was given a diary for her birthday, a gift that became a gift for us all. In 1964, Nelson Mandela began his 27 years in prison. We all know the incredible strength he showed all of us persevering in such dire circumstances. And in 1967, a case, Loving versus Virginia, the Supreme Court unanimously struck down laws against interracial marriages. As I researched June 12th, this item, Loving versus Virginia, surprised me. A unanimous Supreme Court decision? Wow. And a ruling that is now celebrated as National Loving Day. What more could any of us want for your graduation day? National Loving Day. You have shown your love of your arts, your friends, your families, your amazing faculty and staff, and they have reciprocated as they lovingly supported you. And I now lovingly thank all of you for allowing me to be the board president for 20 years. Thank you. And now, oh, I am so delighted to introduce our speaker to you, Mark Barmoudi Joseph. Mr. Joseph is a vital voice in America's arts education and artistic curation. He is a 2017 TED Global Fellow, an inaugural recipient of Guggenheim Social Practice Initiative, and an honoree of the United States Artists Rockefeller Foundation. While engaging in a deeply fulfilling and successful artistic career, Mr. Joseph also proudly serves as Vice President and Artistic Director of Social Impact at John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Having listened to his TED Talks and Googled him a bit more, he's described as a poet, a dancer, a playwright, a musician, an actor. So all I have to say is he's a multi-talented artist who would fit here on the Hill in our dance, music, theater, writing, film, and media, and you know what? I imagine he also paints. May I introduce and please welcome Mark Barmoudi Joseph.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't paint. I suck at arts and crafts. Like, I don't rip things in a straight line. Just don't put me near materials. Faculty, staff, board, families, homies, students, alumni, once a walnut, always a walnut. And most importantly, to the graduating class of 2021, yes, praise be to the universe, we have made it collectively to this day. The poet Lucille Clifton says, every day, something has tried to kill me and has failed. This is true for all of us, maybe, though for some of us, this is a little more true. I'm a father. I'm a first-generation American. I'm an artist. I'm one of the vice presidents of the Kennedy Center, our national cultural center. I wish for you two things. I wish for you the bravery to accept your oracular role. Oracular, fun word, we'll get to that in a second. Secondly, I wish you equity stakes in the transformational future. Here's what I mean by equity. My best friend graduated with her second master's last weekend in Louisville, and I went to go celebrate with her. I was flying back to DC from Kentucky just this past Monday, and because I travel often, I often book a coach ticket and randomly get upgraded for free. And this particular Monday, I got upgraded to first class, seat 2A. And when I got there, in the seat right behind mine, 3A, is the senior senator from Kentucky, Mitch McConnell. All right, now, y'all are a bunch of artists, and y'all are a bunch of people who love these artists, and y'all invited me here. So you can guess how I feel about Mitch McConnell's policies, but I'm not here to talk about policies. I will just say that McConnell is the type of dude that wouldn't give a hearing to an Obama Supreme Court nominee, a hearing within 10 months left of the Obama presidency, but then turn around 4 years later and confirmed a Republican appointee to the court with 3 weeks left to a national election. I'm not here to talk about policy or partisan politics. I'm here to talk about character, and I'm just saying I'm just saying he's the type of dude that would do such a thing. Character is evidenced by action. So it's just me and Mitch and a cabin full of Secret Service agents. And I just wanted to say something to him about America. But I froze because I'm not sure it was a safe space for me. If I opened my mouth, I'm not sure I'd be here now. So I stayed silent all the way to DC. I haven't lived in the nation's capital for long, but I'm no stranger to art and ritual. On the night of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's transition, I got on my bicycle and pedaled down to the Supreme Court, listening to her favorite opera, Marriage of Figaro, on the way. That night, the monument was a magnet drawing hopeful Americans together in grief and trepidation. A woman had passed, and it felt that maybe with her, the endurance of equitable law had passed as well. The monument was thus activated in its imbued symbolic power. If the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice, as Dr. King opined, then the Supreme Court is the American site where that moral arc comes to be codified. In my latest opera, I quote from the Supreme Court's landmark decision on marriage equality. Justice Kennedy wrote, "The nature of injustice is that we may not always see it in our own times." The generations that wrote and ratified the Bill of Rights and the 14th Amendment did not presume to know the extent of freedom in all of its dimensions. And so they entrusted to future generations a charter protecting the right of all persons to enjoy liberty as we learn its meaning. Graduates, we are still learning the meaning of liberty. I'm a highfalutin artist sitting randomly in front of an elected official. I'm only here now because I did not set my speech free. Young artists, I wish for you equity stakes. A transformational future, meaning I wish for you a future that's worth the value of your creative risk. I wish for you art on the edge, a future that's worth the risk of bringing the red meat of your free speech into the lion's den. Equity doesn't mean everybody's in the house. Equity is what you have when you own your house. Think of it like this, graduates. What if dignity were currency? What if we treated the art of cultivating dignity as an intentional economy? If the product were empathy and you had to make it, and you had to make it mass accessible, what raw materials would you use? What if dignity were currency and the raw material to make it was culture? What if you worked at a cultural mint and printed white walls and bright lights and the aesthetic sublime 80% of the time, but 20% of every dime was spent minting cultural equity for the historically left behind? Equity, not like proportional balance, equity like profit on your P&L balance. Who in this country is manufacturing empathy? Just a little bit. And in the end, wouldn't we all benefit? What if dignity were medicine, were a vaccine, and the public and private sector teamed up to invest in our collective healing, and our country's cultural mints were the place where anybody could get pricked with a sharp edge of culture, a chemical boost, included us all, because what we've learned over the last year is that if I'm healthy and you're sick, I'm at risk, not for ourselves alone. Why risk emerging from this moment in a culturally unhealthy way? Why put a cultural inflection point to waste? We make value. Diversity is not a stock to be left alone to accrue. Diversity is the paper-thin bill you gotta keep stacking or else you're not serious. What if you were making a city? How many artists does it take to make a great city? How many artists does it take to make America great? If you had equity stakes in empathy, who would you invest in first? In the ecosystem of cultural production, what if we all win if we all win? What if we didn't all have to win? We just all remembered when the world was sick and collective healing was something we were all invested in? What if nobody got left behind? What if we healed forward cardinal directions, truth, dimension, humanity, access, latitudes of public imagination, longitudinal public policy, XYZ axis, access the ancestors, call their names, map the future, collective dignity, the moral compass, invest in the road forward, culture as brick, walk the walk. Graduates, I wish you an equitable country that's worth the value of your creative justice. And finally, I wish for you the embrace of your oracular role. I did not forget. By oracular, I mean the class of 2021 is an oracle. You are the ritual shrine that marks the entry into the aftertime. We are here gathered around you. My son graduated from high school in 2020. There was no coming together. His is the class of COVID rituals. Dozens of folks lined up in cars to honk, wave, and drive away. You are the ones who bring ritual back. You are the subject of our collective regathering. And so my oracles, the spectacular oracular class of 2021, what do you call forth for us? Let's say divisiveness is an American narcotic. In 2020, we woke up sick. Let's say we get well. What do you see when you envision the public's fullest health? Where is the artistic thinking in our leadership practices? Who is leading the public imagination? Who is articulating the contours of the American dream? I had an illuminating conversation with a mental health professional about the nature of race-based hate, which I initially characterized as a pathology. As in, there's got to be some kind of test a person can take before they're admitted to the police force, let's say, that measures a dangerous level of racism. That officer, those men in Georgia, they're psychopathic, they're sociopathic. My friend clinically corrected me. At a minimum, racism is not a psychological disorder because it can be taught. You cannot teach a psychopathy. So if the racist can be a healthy individual, it stands to reason that the society and the social codes therein are the underlying issue. Racism is just a symptom of a sick society. A psychologist diagnoses an individual who then does work to self-stabilize or heal. Similarly, an artist diagnoses society. An artist gives society the tools it needs to see itself, all the good and all the possibility, and also all the dis-ease from which it might heal. Graduates, artists, we gather around you today and begin healing. Your passage marks our return. That is powerful medicine. I wish for you the full embrace of that magic. I wish you the memory of what your crossing opened up. I wish you an intention to match that awesome gift. Art is oxygen for the lungs of the body politic. Some of us can't breathe. I wish you all the freedom of a collective exhale. And I wish for one more shot maybe at Mitch. May we all earn the value of our creative voices in flight. God bless y'all.
It's now time for us to recognize our graduates and for them to receive their diploma. This year we have 27 seniors who are joining us remotely, so we're all going to give a wave to the camera and say hello. And we want to make sure that we give them the recognition that they deserve, having earned their diploma. So I'm going to read their names first. You're welcome to clap between names. We're a small place. We want to recognize all of you. Magana Basaretti. Emily Yihan Tsai. Yushir Chong. Ruisi Grace Dong. Catherine Annalise Hansen. Qianyi Hu. Chanwu Huang. Yenyu Lin. Sitong Liu. Xinyi Liu. Isabella Laria. Hongyu Ma. Yoonjae Na. Zi Yuan Chu. Xie Ro. Christian Fernando Sack. Jane Ann Sandback. Narumi Shuzawa. Pingzhuo Tong. Junhao Wang. Zoe Wang. Yushin Wu. Xiaobei Shu. Jiatong Yu. Chengyu Zhang. Jingzi Zhang. And Zheyi Zhou. And we'll begin now with our graduates who are with us. Rachel Jane Avaney. Harper Paulina Edge. Luke Michael Balte. Paulina Dana Bartholomew. Venji Babovnikov. Silas River Bowen. Georgia Rose Branger Klein. Maya Monique Bridgewater. Finian Peter Burns. Skylar Jane Busiek. Cassidy Elizabeth Kale. Leandro Summer Capurso. Evan Yuan Chen. And we're delighted that a parent who is our trustee is here to present the diploma to Anna Choi. Caroline Veronica Clark. Caroline Sophia Connolly. Ava Valeria Cronin. Dante Joseph D'Antonio. Reed Elizabeth Duncan. Angelica Maria Estrella. Eleanor Ursel Flocka. Charles Chuck McIntyre Flanagan. Mackenzie Ann Wilcox. Oh, my Lord. Yes, just taking a little longer. Michaela Maria Gallego. Sophia Mary Gallo. Paloma Hunter Garcia. Simone Claire Gardner. And again, we have a parent here who is a trustee who's here to present the next diploma to Mateo Ibarra del Villar. Grace Jeanette Jaramillo. Da Kyung Jung. Bella Django Kashok. James Harong Kim. Edward Teddy Neil Kingsbury. Ronak Kumar. Julian Leal. Skylar Erickson Lim. Chloe Elizabeth Little. Rocco Peter Masoni. Claire Louise McFarland. Alex Mose. Lucille Lee Morton. Greta Millette Mosher. Jacqueline Ruth Ould. Ava Corinne Paul. Alexandra Lee Poliakoff. Natasha Julia Rawls. Jacob Aiden Resnick. Leor Ruby Ryder Shockham. Madison Tomasina Rodolfi. Madison Elizabeth Rizzo. Victoria Marie Rodewig. Marion Rose Rookie. Ross Rosenberg. Jessica Shear. Amy Scoggins. Sophie Emma Sherlock. Dai Shi. Sarah Isabel Silbert. Caroline Frances Salakian. Jonah Wolf Stern. Margot Nicole Sugarman. Amir Jonathan Taylor. Isabella Lucia Barcega Urbano. Ru Yao Vanderplug. Tate Vanderpool. Karina Fagundes Wackler. Grace Megan Wong. Sydney Lene Williams. Nicole Alexis Zamora. Annie Yu Ju.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Class of 2021, please turn your tassels to the other side. You are officially graduates. If everyone could please have a seat and allow me just a little bit of time. Before I begin my remarks, I want to acknowledge a very special individual who's celebrating her last graduation with us. For 20 years, Betsy McClendon, class of 1965, has served as the chair of Board of Trustees. Betsy's service to Walnut Hill is deeply appreciated. She's navigated our school through challenging times. Her steadfast leadership and support of our school has been unwavering. As she steps down as board chair, I feel it is fitting that we pause and acknowledge Betsy's service to Walnut Hill. Betsy, under your leadership, you have managed difficult transitions. You've exemplified strength and conviction, and you've led with heart and passion. The work of a board chair is in many ways the most important role one can play in a school like ours. It is critical. It provides guidance. It serves as a compass. On a personal note, it has been my distinct pleasure to work with you for 11 years. Our weekly meetings, your willingness to take phone calls at all hours of the day and night, your support, your guidance and wisdom have been an important part of my success as head of school. 11 years ago, you took a chance on me. I was a young head of school. I was eager to jump into this role that I've grown to love, and for that I am deeply grateful. Together, we've managed a variety of challenges. We've accomplished some wonderful things, such as expanding our campus with additional new buildings, creating new programs and partnerships, and we've managed to keep our beloved school moving forward. I know that I speak for everyone at Walnut Hill when I say we are profoundly grateful for all that you have done. While your time as board chair may be coming to an end, your continued presence in our community is something we all look forward to. You truly exemplify the motto, "Not for ourselves alone." And with that, I want to present you with a cap, tassel, and honorary diploma so that you do, in fact, graduate with the class of 2021. I also want to thank the faculty, staff, administration, and board of trustees for their extraordinary effort that all of you made throughout this year. You went above and beyond the call of duty. You stepped into your roles, regardless of what they were, with one singular goal in mind: to bring our students back to campus and provide them with the best opportunity to learn, grow, create, and heal. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank all of you for what you did. Before I charge the seniors, I have one last group I want to thank. Parents. Parents. I know firsthand what this year felt like for you. Throughout all of this, you stood by your walnut. You helped them understand how to deal with stress and disappointment. You provided a nurturing and supportive hand, and you parented with love and understanding. I want to thank you as well for standing with us as we experience this year together. From starting remote to quarantine protocols, to getting your kids back and forth to campus, and for some of you, not seeing your kids for extended periods of time. You made it through the college process in one piece, and you made it to this point, and all of you deserve congratulations as well. As I sat to think about what to say to you, class of 2021, this of all years, I struggled more than usual. After spending time reflecting and meditating on this question, I came to some realizations. The first is that you are really a special class, not only because of this past year, but because my own son is also graduating from high school, and so I feel a deeply, deeply personal connection to all of you as a dad. I share in the joy and pride that each parent, relative has in seeing all of you reach this critical and important milestone. So this particular graduation has double meaning for me. The second realization that I had was that 30 years ago, on a hot summer day in June, I graduated from Linton High School in Schenectady, New York. I remember the feeling of hope and optimism that came with starting this new chapter in my life. It was hard for me to believe that 30 years have actually gone by so quickly, but it has. And with the passing of time, I think I've grown a little wiser than I was back on that June day. And what I would say to you all now is embrace this moment fully and be fully present in this time. It would be an understatement to say that this year was one for the history books. We have lived and are living through history as it is being made. Something I know we will never forget. Regardless of your age, this year, every human being on earth was affected and transformed. Many pundits, scholars, and thinkers have contemplated what kind of world emerges from this moment in time. And I too have contemplated that question. So this morning, I want to go back ever so slightly in history to provide some context to what we might anticipate may come next. All of you, class of 2021, were born in the years immediately following 9/11. Those of us who lived during that moment in U.S. history remember the immediate shock and devastating attacks on the United States And many of your parents, like myself, found ourselves trying to understand how we would navigate the post-9/11 world. The world did in fact change in some very big and significant ways. As a country, the war on terror began. It would ultimately shape our lives for many years to come, and our presence in Afghanistan would make it the longest war in American history. Air travel changed forever. Gone were the days when we could walk to the gate with our families. We could say goodbye to them from the window and look to see if we could see them on the plane as they pulled out of the gate. We got accustomed to taking off our shoes and taking out our laptops and devices as we went through security. Anti-Muslim violence grew across the country and the world, and widespread surveillance of citizens increased through the passing of the Patriot Act. During the first few years after that historic event, many of you were born. As parents, we found ourselves welcoming you into a world that felt unsure and uneasy, and yet, with each passing day, with each year, we watched you grow. You filled our days with joy and excitement, and you challenged us as parents. With each milestone, you reminded us of what was really important in our lives: family, connection, community. We could not have imagined that these changes would shape the course of the next 2 decades, and all the while, we watched you grow. Ultimately, the world adapted and grew accustomed to the way our lives had become different. The world entered into a new normal. Many of us couldn't appreciate the time how quickly those years would go by, and with each chapter, from elementary school and middle school, and eventually to high school, it became clearer to us that those years were going by, and that, like everything else in life, this day, your graduation day, would arrive. And so, today, we celebrate this extraordinary accomplishment, and I would like to charge you, the graduating class of 2021, to think about what comes next, what happens after COVID, and the racial reckoning in our country, and how you might plan to start again. You are armed with the gifts and the talent and the experience and everything that you have learned here at Walnut Hill. Like 9/11, we can all agree that the world has, in fact, changed forever. The past 15 months, from March of 2020 to today, has once again marked an important shift in the collective human experience. All of us have yet to fully understand how we will emerge from this historic time, but make no mistake, graduates, this is what it means to live through history. When we look back at the world before, can we identify the things that we are comfortable, and I would say that we demand that we should leave in the past? What will the world look like over the next few weeks, months, and years? I, for one, believe that this is a pivotal moment for humanity. For the first time in 100 years, the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre was recognized nationally. And finally, Harvard Business School has included it as a case study in its MBA program. Just last week, President Biden announced that the United States would lead the effort to assist in sharing millions of COVID vaccines around the world. In places like India, Vietnam, Peru, Nepal, and throughout the continent of Africa, the pandemic continues. It is easy for us to come from a place of privilege to think that the hard part is almost over, that things are just going to go back to normal. But in reality, it's not. The digital economy will continue to alter the way we work and the way the world learns. Telemedicine and delivery services will continue to be the norm. Blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies are reshaping the landscape of the internet. This is an evolutionary step. It is poised to redefine the way you as artists will work, curate, and retain the rights to your creative work. Many believe, as do I, that we have the potential to be headed toward the realization of human ideals and to stand to bring radical structural change to the world, beginning with things like the financial system, modern creative industries, and hopefully, and most importantly, human rights. These are just a few of the ways that the world and how things may never go back to the way they were. It is, graduates, the proverbial tip of the iceberg. We are only now beginning to realize as we emerge from the past year and a half. But let us not forget, Walnut Hill, that we are, in fact, a community of privilege. Your education from Walnut Hill School for the Arts, the diploma that you hold in your hand, that education is available to fewer than 1% of the world's population. And while many may be celebrating the reopening of schools and colleges across the United States in the fall, the global health crisis is far from over. Social justice, systemic racism, and human rights remain the most important work of our time. How will humanity navigate this period? By maintaining the ideals of a free democracy. Class of 2021, you embark on the next step in your journey by entering into organizations and institutions that will also be adapting and evolving. This is an incredible opportunity for you to become important instruments and catalysts of change. I believe that requires all of you to understand the times that you are living in. How will you integrate these historic moments into your daily lives and emerge from this period as global citizens, global leaders, and members of a global community? Your education, your training, and your preparation at Walnut Hill equips you with the skills, the knowledge, and the experience that can help to inform you of what comes next and the critical role that you can play in making those important changes happen. Your experience here as part of this global and diverse community has provided a deep understanding of the values that we hold: excellence, creativity, growth, community, and respect. All of you will continue to experience this rapid pace of transformation, and the part of what comes next will mean taking this summer, these next few weeks and months, to renew and recharge yourselves. Never forget what has happened, but lean into what comes next. As you start again, you should be intentional about leaving behind those things that no longer serve you or humanity. I charge you to make room for those things that allow you to live your lives with intention and purpose. Embrace this moment, graduates. Reframe your thinking. And instead of saying things like, "I can't wait for things to go back to normal," I charge you to say, "I am starting again from here, from this place, in this moment." Starting again means that we understand the first and next step comes from a place that is different from where we were before. Starting again implies an openness to continued personal and collective growth. Starting again is an opportunity to correct those things that were wrong before and making the collective promise not to repeat those mistakes. Starting again includes forward movement, not backwards. The next few weeks, months, and even years will usher a collective restart, one that our entire planet, every human being in the world, will experience together. Your generation is so uniquely positioned to play a major role in defining the future, and this class of 2021 is your time. As parents, we are ready for you to continue to make history, so seize this moment. Congratulations, class of 2021. All of us are deeply proud of what you have accomplished so far. We can't wait to see what the universe has in store for each and every one of you. Thank you very much. you. All right. So this, folks, concludes our ceremony. I'm going to ask everyone except the seniors to be seated, graduates rather, to be seated. Graduates, here's the process. We're going to ask you to process out. Everyone else, please wait until the graduates have exited the tent. We also would like to invite everybody up to campus to grab a grab-and-go lunch from the dining hall. And again, thank you everyone for being here. It is really an extraordinary accomplishment, and have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Thank you, everybody.